Okay, here we go. Got it. And then I'm going to hit record.
I hit okay.
That's good. Recording on this computer. There we go. There's another one.
I
Okay,
got
here
you.
we go. Got it. Okay, I
And then
need I'm going to hit record. I need to mute myself there. All right, folks, we're live. This is Tim Rogers, Dodgers 2080, and I have a special guest, the one and only, the host of the Dodger fan page 88, our own Dodger Danny. Welcome to the channel, Danny.
Tim, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. So Danny is out, has been out. You're out in Arizona,
Yes.
and Danny has been to almost every spring training event or day so far. Tell us what you've seen so far.
Well, they opened up the gates on Friday the 9th. So I was there on Tuesday the 6th. I was there on Wednesday the 7th. I was there on Friday the 9th, Saturday the 10th, Monday the 12th, and today the 13th. So, I just want to go and look at everything before the mania happens. So I get there, and there is probably, I want to say, 20 or 30 Japanese media. And they are there, and this was on Tuesday the 6th. So I'm thinking Shohei was there on Monday the 5th,
Yeah.
or Yamamoto. Excuse me. And so, anyway, all these guys are trying to get pictures of the players coming in. And, so I drove in with my Ferrari so that I can fool them. So, really, here I am. I've got a Dodger blue Nissan, and I'm driving in, and I purposely drive into the staff parking lot. And the reason being the staff player is because I want to talk to security. I want to ask them questions because I know the players haven't shown up yet. So I'm driving in, and all these guys are taking my picture. Click, click,
Oh,
click, click,
geez.
click. Now they already know I'm nobody. They now I'm dressed up because of hospice, but they know I'm not. They just probably think I'm stadium personnel. I stop at security, tell them that I'm just here, ask a couple questions, and then I'm going to back out. And he was fine. And so I ask my questions, I back out, I park, and I get out. And so now I'm talking to the media guys and asking them questions about who they're here to see. Naturally, they want to be the first to get Shohei.
Yes.
They want to be the first to get Yamamoto. And then they immediately send it home to Japan, and Japan reports on it.
And and we were talking about this a little bit beforehand, just kind of a little pre-gaming it. And you were talking about it's all about being first.
It is about being first in the news business, being first on reporting the news. Remember everybody saying that Shohei was on the plane to Toronto,
One of the funnest days of my life as a fan.
and everybody wants to break that news.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to break that news because the first person that breaks it, and the guys on Twitter or X, they're usually reporting, and then they say John Heyman first on the news.
Right.
They tag who was first. And so, well, that's the way it is in social media, but that's also the way it is in the news.
Mm-hmm.
So, like today, oh my goodness. Today, we knocked over a $700 million bottle. Did you see Shohei fall over today?
I saw that news of it. I haven't seen the
Oh,
video, but I've seen stills of it. What happened?
it's on my page. Well, he started his routine. He's
Yeah.
starting one of his running routines, and he trips. And he was okay. It's a good laugh, but I'm like, oh my goodness, Could you imagine Dave Roberts watching that and being nervous? So it's all over media now.
Yeah.
And you go and you look on Twitter and you type, like when it happened, you type in Shohei Ohtani on Twitter. That's all you're going to see is 30 videos of that. So yeah.
Yeah. And someone who was first with it. That's a
What's that?
and somebody had to be first with it too.
And quickly they're getting it out, and yeah, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and that is part of it. I admit that I like to be quick with stuff. Like there's certain days I work from home, and I usually like it if news breaks on those days. I just go from my desk that's just right over here, go
Yep.
from that desk to this desk, put up the green screen, and I'm on. And it's
Yep.
like, hey, we're talking about this stuff. I remember Clint Pasillas he was live when the Yamamoto stuff happened.
Yep.
And I'm texting him going, "Oh, hey, this guy's saying it. This guy's saying it." And he's just reading my texts as it's going and going, "Oh my gosh." And then it's done. And then of course I get on as soon as he's done and crazy.
Funniest thing, there's a video of these two Yankee fans, they're podcasters. And they're talking about Yamamoto going to the Dodgers.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
guy's like, he's just dead silent with kind of like all his energy just left his body. And yeah, that was hilarious.
They thought they had him.
Yeah.
They thought they had him, but it was just reflecting a little bit on what happened this offseason. It's really there's I don't I'm going to do a segment on it eventually just to kind of look at the history and see, is there ever been a bigger offseason for any team? I'm not sure. It's right
No,
up.
I don't think so. I mean, when you look at you look at the Phillies picking up their guy they picked up,
Yeah, Harper.
Harper. You look at the Dodgers picking up either Freddie Freeman, Max Scherzer, Trevor Bauer, or Mookie Betts. You look at the Yankees re-signing Aaron Judge. All of those things had some excitement,
Yeah.
but nothing like Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
And then to add the excitement of picking up the number one pitching desired person in Yamamoto.
Yeah.
And then to add stability in Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah.
And then the Dodgers just sprinkle a little bit more on with Hernandez and Paxton.
Yeah.
I mean, just the Dodgers really had a lot of weaknesses in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And they have answered those weaknesses, at least on paper right now.
Yeah.
This was by far my favorite offseason.
Yeah. It's been one of those things where you're just, for me at least, having going out getting swept by the deep Diamondbacks a year after what happened against the Padres, I'm like, what is going on? What is wrong with this team? And it needed a little injection. And boy, they really, it's still unbelievable. Over $1 billion spent. Um, and the talent, I don't like giving up guys like Pepio. But they got Glass now and they signed him to an extension. So
Yes,
it
5
made
years.
sense then. Yeah. I
And
remember
here's
being
the
upset
deal.
about that first when it first came out, but then I'm like, oh,
Well, like this. Okay, I didn't like giving up Alex Verdugo
right.
when we gave him up in the Mookie Betts trade. I didn't like it because I'm from Tucson. Alex is from Tucson.
Yeah.
I liked his charisma. I liked his energy. Okay, but then they went out and they won the World Series.
Yeah.
And that just made it worth it. I don't like giving up Pepio because I think Ryan is going to be a phenomenal pitcher.
I do too. Yeah.
So, and I wish him the best. But if we win the World Series this year, it's worth it.
Right. Exactly. We got a few people checking in on the chat. We got Showtime LA, got Mr. John Rod 77, Hepatitis See You Later, talking about the infamous flight with John Morosi and a few others soiling their careers a little bit. Let's
Let me
see.
tell you about that flight for a minute. I
Yeah.
blew it. I
Okay.
blew it. All right. So Dodger Nation had a writer, JP Hoopstra.
Hornstra, yeah.
Hornstra. Hornstra wrote that he was on the plane.
Yep.
So I posted the same thing, giving Dodger Nation credit. Okay, that's important. You always do that. Give people credit for their stuff. All right. So I do that, and then I'm getting in the shower. And this guy messages me with pictures. He messages me and says, Danny, Shohei Ohtani is not on that plane. This is Shohei's plane. This is the tail number, the transponder number, whatever.
Yeah.
And this is the plane that's flying from California. Same model, different number, different plane. It is not Shohei's plane. This plane belongs to a CEO of a company.
Right.
I could have posted that, and I could have been the first guy to say Shohei's not on that plane. I blew it. Whoever sent me that, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew what they were talking about, and they were right. And I blew it. I missed that opportunity.
And you would have been first.
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding?
Yeah. And it was funny how it did, later in the day, things started to clear up. And then the next morning, all of a sudden, we see that Shohei Ohtani on his Instagram, big LA, rated, I'm a Dodger. It was like, oh my gosh.
And I'm telling you, here's the other thing. Okay, so, and I didn't see that. I was working, and I was doing a funeral at the time whenever he showed that. So I was about 27, I think I was 27 minutes late seeing that. Yeah. I had finished my funeral. I was done. I was getting in my car and leaving when I clicked that on. And I'm driving out of the cemetery. And I park to the side, and I just scream, yes. I'm like, yeah. Oh my goodness. That day was euphoric.
It was almost, I don't know, for me, it was just such a bounce back from the previous day. Earlier in the day, and I don't delete any of my Twitter, so I've got it out there that I said, hey, like about, I'm going to say 9:30 a.m. on the Friday, I said, okay, time to move on to the next thing. I thought, for like 5 minutes, I bought into it. And then I just started thinking logically, and I'm like, no, this doesn't make any sense. It just didn't. And then that night was one of the craziest live shows I've ever had. There's people from Japan in there tweeting kanji, and I got a couple people that were able to translate for me, and then and just on here. And then we got Doom Sal, Mr. Mike Salas is in the house. Thank you, Mike. And then also people from the Blue Jays. They're from Canada, and they were just, I felt bad for them. That's a good group of fans. They just want, like any of us, everyone's got their good groups of fans. Well, and it was a bummer for them, but dang it, man, we need to win.
You know what? That's a good fan base.
Seems like it.
That's one of those teams that you just really don't hate on.
Right.
And so I feel bad for him a little. Let's be honest. I really don't, because I'm happy we got Shohei. But I still could feel that disappointment. Here's the deal. Whoever landed Shohei Ohtani landed the prospect of going to the World Series.
Yeah.
And here's why I say that. Angels haven't been to the World Series, and they had them for 6 years. It's the prospect. It's not the reality. Just because you've signed the best player doesn't guarantee you're winning the World Series, but it certainly helps to get there.
Yeah, and the way the Dodgers have done this one, there's really, there's just no. What could Andrew Friedman have done better? I mean, people could go, well, we could have gotten this guy and that guy. He went what it's one of the most amazing off seasons, and if this team within the next couple years can get in, win the World Series, not just get in, win it, I think it puts Andrew Friedman solidly in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And same with
Yeah.
Doc.
Because here's the deal. Listen, I get it. Everybody wants to hate on 2020. It is not the Dodgers' fault that it was a COVID season. It is not the players' fault. Every team had the same opportunity to win a championship. So the Dodgers win a championship. And in the eyes of baseball, listen to this. In the eyes of baseball, that means the players, the owners, the writers, all of them, they still see that as a championship. So Andrew Friedman has already won a World Series that he constructed.
Yep. That's one.
Now, then he's been to two other World Series that he's constructed. And if we can get there this year, next year, and win another one, absolutely. That's two World Series he's constructed. And then there is more coming. So, yeah, absolutely Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and the way that this team is built, we traded we traded Pepio and DeLuca to, one what's his name? Pepio no longer a prospect. He's a solid major league pitcher now and only going to get better. And I agree.
Yep.
Plus he's a friend of the show. So, but they still have almost all their prospects. I know they did trade Michael Busch,
yep.
but as a prospect hugger, it's that's it, those always bother me. But for him, it was good. But they have a ton of talent still. If they have to somehow make a trade at the trade deadline, they're ready. Hopefully we get some luck this year with some injuries and don't get hurt.
And I think we did Michael Busch a solid.
Yeah, I do too.
We sent him to the Chicago Cubs, and we sent him to a place where he's going to get play time.
Yep.
He's going to get time to continue to develop, continue to grow, and become a star. And yes, why did we get rid of him? We're not going to be able to play him for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
He's not going to have a solid spot for this season or next season. That's 2 years. And probably not the third. That's 3 years. We would just be wasting him away. So I think the Dodgers did him a solid.
I agree. And, he goes into spring training as their starting first baseman.
Right.
Awesome for him. And that's the way I look at these guys. Since I do cover the prospects a lot, I get to know some of these guys. Yes. And it becomes more than just Dodgers. And you go, I just want these guys to get a chance, have some success, make that money. That's for sure. And go from there. But I want to do a quick, everybody, if you are not following Dodger Fan Page 88 on Instagram, what are you doing? You got to be following Dodger Danny. I want to tell the quick story. I think I told it on here after the Fan Fest, but I want to tell the quick story about how I met Dodger Danny. So it was Fan Fest or what Dodger Fest Day. Let's get it correct.
Dodger Fest. Now it's Dodger Fest.
Yep. $10 to get in. Unless you had a media pass in which you got to wait in long lines after having drank in a full large Diet Dr. Pepper from Chick-fil-A in Orange County and you're about to die. But I'm waiting in line in the media line with a bunch of Japanese reporters, and I see at a distance a guy with a jersey that says Dodger Fan Page on the back, number 88. So I go, I want to meet Danny. I got to go meet this guy because I've been following him for a long time. And so I asked the Japanese guys around me, hey, you mind watching my stuff? I think they understood. Hopefully none of my stuff got stolen, so they must have understood enough. I ran over, met Danny. We, talked for a bit, exchanged information, all that type of stuff. And oh, less than 2 weeks later, he's on the podcast. And so you got to be following him. You get that all around fan perspective. You get some humor. I know you and Doyers Dave collaborate on some cool things. It just keeps it, the all around fan thing. He does things that I can't do. He's funnier than I am by far. Knows how to make some good graphics and does all that stuff. And so please go follow him. And I definitely can't push that enough. So that's our origin story. And that's why we got Danny here. And so he has been in Arizona. He's been around just hanging out, just seeing everything. I mean, some of the things, I saw pictures. I saw you took I think it was you had a picture. It was either you or Desert Doyer with one guy. He had a Shohei ball and a Yamamoto ball. Was that you or was that?
Okay, so that was me.
Yeah.
So Doyer saw one of the kids that got the Yamamoto ball. And Doyer's got the Desert Doyer, that's Carlos. He's got these creative videos. Check him out. Desert Doyer. He is on YouTube. He is on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Check him out, Desert Doyer. Anyway, but so what happened is I'm walking in with these kids and their dad. And they've got a blue sign, and it's got Shohei and Yamamoto, and it's got writing on it, and it's in Japanese, so I can't read it. But obviously, they're asking for an autograph. So Shohei signs them both. Now, here's the deal. I'm a hospice chaplain, so I can only go early in the morning, and then I got to leave and go to work. But if I would have stayed there and hung out with these two guys, I would have got Shohei's autograph. And here's why. He signed 4 people's autographs in that one grouping. He signed both the kids, their brothers, so they both had the autograph. And he signed a grown man.
Yeah.
And this guy was excited. This guy was probably a legitimate fan. And he was excited. So I showed the picture. The dad sent me the picture of both boys holding the baseballs.
How cool is that? I mean, how exciting. And just to see that, I know that I always when I see a player sign afterwards, I'll always say, "Hey, thanks, man. Just a good job." Just encourage that. I know that the fan it gets a little hectic probably for them. But when the fans are polite and hint just to the kids especially, please and thank you are really, really good words. Don't call them by their first name. Go call them Mister. Be as polite as possible.
So this happened today.
Sign it. Give me ball. Like,
so this happened today. Mookie Betts is there, and I've got a baseball helmet. I want to get Mookie's autograph on. But I already know it's kids first. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, it is.
And so there's these 6 kids in front of us. This mom and her 2 little ones. And when I mean little, we're talking 4, 5, 6 years old. This dad and his 2 sons and these other 2 kids. And Mookie Betts is signing, and here comes this adult. A young man, probably in his late 20s, early 30s, and he just takes his helmet and he just pushes through everybody and sticks it in Mookie Betts' face. Well, what he does not see, because this guy was probably 6'2", he doesn't see 2-foot kids.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids were so small, they were almost Jose Altuve's size, height. But anyway, he reaches over and he pushes the kids forward, and the security yells at him.
Good.
And that was it. Mookie Betts was done.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. It just kind of wrecks it for everybody.
And because here's the thing. And why is Mookie done? Mookie doesn't want to add to kids getting trampled.
Yes.
The guy, I'm not going to blame the guy. I'm not going to knock the guy. The guy was excited. He saw Mookie Betts, but here's the problem. all of us adults know there are kids there.
Mhm.
All of us adults, I'm never going to get an autograph because there's kids in front of me. And
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that's going to reach over kids. I'm just not going to do it. I
Yeah.
just simply say, hey, Mookie, can you sign?
Right.
And if he doesn't, I say it's okay.
Yeah.
But Mookie stopped for kids.
Good.
Shohei stopped for kids. Yamamoto stopped for kids. Will Smith. Will Smith signed a ton of autographs today.
Awesome.
Stopped for kids. But yeah, the adult that pushes through ruins it for everybody.
Yeah. It just good. Have some good etiquette out there, and don't do the multiple thing. Don't try to get him to sign multiple things. Just have him sign one thing, move on. I mean, it's a rough, especially at the MLB level. The minor league level is a bit different. They have more time, but even be careful with that. Make sure that you're just be polite to them. They're just human and they can be overwhelmed. I know that for me, now no one's going to come up and have 100 people trying to get my autograph, but I know I would be kind of leery just because I don't like that type of crowd coming at me type thing. It's almost,
Yeah.
something that I don't know how used to I would get with that. So it's kind of yeah. It's just to be careful. So some things in here, some things in the chat, important thing, and I want to talk about this. They announced that Miguel or Juan Toribio actually had the story that Miguel Vargas, last year's opening day second baseman, former third baseman, is going to be playing left field this year. So he will be, Teoscar Hernandez has a 1 year contract, and he also can play right field if for some reason things kind of fall apart. So
Right.
it gives, Miguel Vargas had a rough year last year. He's one of those, he's just one of those things where his hand was hurt last year, if you
Yep.
recall, and
Yep.
and he just never got unlocked. And he's also learning a new position. He's probably
Yep.
going to spend quite a bit of time at OKC.
Yep.
I'm a huge believer in Miguel Vargas. See, out here, I actually got to see him in 2019 at Rancho,
Yep.
and been a big fan of his. And I always, I haven't talked to you about this, Danny, but I always go, how do the players treat me? Kind of the lowest of the guy at the media, and Miggy still treats me well. Same with
Yep.
Pepio, Outman, a lot of those guys. And so I got a lot of respect for those guys because they know how to treat everybody. It's
Well,
kind of like
see,
it's kind of like how you treat your waitress, right?
and that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, like, okay, Clayton Kershaw. Clayton is talking to people, saying hi to people. There's a kid, and when I say kid, he's 21, 22, or 23 now. But him and his dad have been coming to spring training every year since he was probably 11 or 12.
Hmm.
Every year he brings a custom made Dodger sign and he gets everybody to sign it. Everybody, minor leaguers, players, prospects, every coaches,
Yeah,
everybody signs this. And they go in his room, him and his dad. They go in the man cave. And they don't sell them, they don't do
right.
anything. So Clayton Kershaw is there and he's signing it for him. He gets Kershaw's autograph. And there's a guy right next to Kershaw with a baseball. So Kershaw grabs it and signs it, an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy looks at it and he goes, yeah, I'm going to put this on eBay.
Oh,
Kershaw gives him a look and says, I'm done. And again, ruins it for him. But here's what I see. I see all these players from Bobby Miller, James Outman, Austin Barnes, Will Smith, Mookie Betts, Yamamoto, Shohei. They stop and they give kids autographs. They stop and they take pictures. I'm talking to Tyler Glasnow today.
yeah.
I'm having a conversation with him.
You're looking up, I'm sure.
He's signing everybody's autographs.
Yeah.
There's this guy that opened up his book, and there is two cards of Tyler's. He signed them both.
Oh,
And I got a baseball in my hand because here's the deal. I want to get Bobby Miller's autograph. And I'm holding it for Bobby.
Yeah.
And Tyler's just standing there signing autographs. And I'm like, well, Tyler, because he got a picture with me. I'm
That's
like, well, if you want to sign it, I'll have you sign it. And he goes, yeah, I'll sign it for you. And he signs it. And I'm like, okay, I got Tyler Glasnow's autograph. How about that? And then I went and got another baseball for Bobby, and we'll try to
yeah.
get his. But, you know, I mean, yeah, these guys, they're good to the fans.
Do you have that? Did you put the picture up with Bobby?
Okay, I put one of the pictures up. Yes. I
Okay.
put it on my story a couple days ago.
Oh,
Today I
okay.
got another picture
I
with
mean,
him,
with
but
Glasnow, I'm sorry.
oh, Glasnow, I did. I put it on my story. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone check that out. See, that's the thing. I mean, if I had my way, I'd be there every day. And as much as it's such a great atmosphere to be out there.
It's
Um,
fun.
and you see the people, like you say, Desert Doyer. I actually met him back in 2015 here in San Diego. Like
Uh-huh.
I wanted to meet him, it's like I went up and met him and so yeah, Carlos, I know that he does all sorts of, travel baseball and all that. In fact, I think if I get out there, I'm going to have him I'll do a little show with him. I know
Yep.
he's starting a podcast with his
He
son.
is. He just started a podcast this
Yeah.
season. And
Yeah,
it's
so we'll
hard.
promote him.
It's hard to get those things going.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I started this in somehow early 2020-ish. And it takes a long time, but fortunately, there's some really good people out there,
Yep.
loyal followers that they're in the chat right now. Yeah, and so yeah, I'll get the link in there. I know I follow him, I just can't or subscribe to him as they say on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he's always been great. I remember first seeing him on Instagram wandering the fields, with his mask, luchador mask and his
Yep.
hat on, and wandering and getting pictures of other players looking at him and stuff like
Yep.
that. Just kind of funny stuff.
Yeah. He's
Um,
really fun, very charismatic.
he is.
Charismatic.
He
Very
is.
charismatic. Lots of charisma.
Yeah, because when you're hanging out with him, there's people coming up, and then sometimes you get the Dodger weenie guy, the Dodger dog guys out there.
That's Alan. Alan, the
Alan,
LA
yes,
Dodger
Alan.
dog. Yep.
Yeah, and other people. Yeah, it's like when you go to Dodger Stadium, you see
Well,
yeah,
there's Angel. That's LA baseball head.
yeah, LA baseball head, exactly.
There is Richie. That's
Yeah.
Mariachi Loco.
El Mariachi Loco,
Uh,
that's right.
there's the helmet. There's the helmet guy. There is Beer Salt Bob.
Your Salt Bob, definitely. I know, but
Um,
yeah,
there is Rocco, which is the Dodger dog, the
yep,
great Bambino, Mark.
yes,
Yeah, so there's a lot of those at Dodger Stadium, and so Desert Doyer is like all of those guys have a following at Dodger Stadium.
yeah,
Alan, Angel, Richie, Mark, all of them, Bob, and so Desert Doyer, he's our Arizona personality.
yeah. He's classic.
He is faithful. He's at every Dodger game at Chase Field.
Yep.
He is almost at every day at spring training. He is like our Arizona version of all those guys.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's great.
I think he's been doing it first.
I think
I
so
think
too.
I
He was
think
the
Desert Warrior is doing it before Richie and LA baseball head, Mariachi Loco, LA baseball head. I think Carlos was first.
Yeah, I saw Carlos first on Instagram. That was the guy that I started following first of those types of they're characters, and they
Yep.
help make the game fun. It's the same thing. Just like there's to be honest, I think the Dodger podcast world, the Instagram world, and all that. I think we're pretty and I'm not boosting myself, but in general, pretty top notch. I mean, led by guys like Doug McCain, Clint
Yep.
Pasillas, Jeff Snyder,
Yep.
the Dodger, the what do they call themselves? The Dodger heads,
Yep.
Vince Sampario, and I know him. Casey, of course, Casey Porter, the Incline guys. There's so many really good podcasts. the Bleed Lows folks, all those
Yep.
people. There, it's just so many good, I think so many good podcasts. I don't have time to watch them all. I'll pick
Yeah.
and choose when I can.
Well, I tell
Um,
you what, you have one guy that absolutely loves you, and he is at Society Sports Shop. Society. They do all their Saturday hat drops and
oh,
stuff,
okay.
and they have a mural on the side of their wall now. They have a Shohei mural
Oh,
at
no,
Society. And I know that he loves your podcast.
man, I appreciate that because you know, doing this stuff is but to be honest, the part of it, but my favorite part of it is when I go live and I got the chat going on.
Yep,
You know, and someday if you ever get on it, you might see it. Or if I can set it up correctly, you can usually get, it's not through Zoom, but you can actually get different software. You can actually both of us could see it. Um, Dodger Explicit. Hey, Dodger Explicit, you guys are killing it out there.
that is another one. So this is
Killing it.
this is three or four young men,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm telling you, Dodger Explicit.
Yeah.
You start out young and you stay with it, and that's the thing. Don't compete. Don't
Right.
compete with other podcasts. Don't compete with other fan pages. Do
Exactly.
your thing, and people gravitate to that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
And promote each other.
absolutely.
That's the thing. This is a rising thing. I mean, in terms of all the podcasts, Dodgers Nation has the number one thing. They got Doug. I mean, Doug's a
Yeah,
superstar. Doug also will promote other people. He'll show up on other
yep,
people's shows and stuff like that. He's been on this one. Doug's a good friend of mine. I mean, the Dodgers
absolutely.
Explicit, yes, we need to chat. Dodgers Explicit, hit me up. I'd love to promote you guys. I want to get you guys some more. You guys you're killing it on Instagram. They're always really good on that stuff. And yeah, gotta get some of that youth, man. Those old farts like me, you look at my age demographics of the followers, it's a little different probably than Dodgers Explicit, but there's room for all of us.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. So like that's what my page is about. My page is
Mhm.
about Dodger community. It's
Yep,
about bringing people together. And that's the thing about all those guys I mentioned at Dodger Stadium.
yep,
They don't compete with each other. They're all friends.
they are
They all get
absolutely.
together. And I met all of them. I met a lot of them, excuse me, a lot of them in 2016 at D-back Stadium.
Hmm.
Then I met the rest of them at the 2020 World Series Game 6.
Yeah,
I
you were
was there
there.
in Arlington. What a
Yes,
blessing that was.
yes.
And all these guys, they're friends. They collaborate together. They work together. It's a great environment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and it started really, I know they're not as trendy as they used to be, but it was that Pantone 294 guys.
Yep.
Is Alex doing his thing, and it helped bringing those things together. I haven't talked to Alex in quite a while, but although I like all those community type things, bring things together. I'll never forget in 2016 watching a Dodger game when they were playing in New York against the Yankees. And the Dodger fans, led by the Pantone folks,
Yep.
took that game over. And they
Yep.
were so loud. I was dying the whole time. It was one of the funnest things of that season. It was just such a classic. But yeah, that's the thing. Dodger fan, it's a community. We have a good time here. Thank you, Sal, for putting the Dodgers explicit thing in the chat. Yeah, Mike Salas, Doom Sal is I tag him as a moderator, so I don't have much to moderate yet, but he can put links in there for me. Appreciate you, Sal, or Mike Salas, that's what it is. And he does a lot of work for Casey Porter with Dodgers Daily.
Yep.
And yeah, in fact, one of my guys just recorded worked as a translator for Casey. I got a guy Trinidad Loaiza on my team, and he did some translation for that. I'm not going to give the details away. It'll be a surprise when that shows next week.
Nice.
But it's going to be really cool. Um, the community is great, and it is about the fan experience. We're going to try to work something during the season to have like a meetup at Rancho, and maybe even I'll try to get some other groups out there, maybe the Dodgers explicit guys, maybe even Doug will come out, Clint Pasillas and stuff like that. My whole staff to get them out there. And yeah, we there's just a lot of good folks, a lot of people trying to do a lot of work. And yeah, the coverage is great. And the thing is, it's so fun right now because there's so much to cover. Uh,
Yes.
oh, we got someone watching from Japan. Akira LAD watching from Japan. Happy good day to you too. Yeah. And so we got so much to root for, and we all, to be honest, a lot of our channels exploded in December. You know,
Yes. Yes. And man, I'm telling you, just the excitement. Oh, and then okay, so this is a big deal. The Dodgers and the Yankees, let's just be honest. Those are the two big fan bases.
Yep.
So the Yankees, they had, I think, 3.2 million followers. 3.3, no, 3.2. The Dodgers were at 3.1. And I'm telling you, we were at 3 million because we get Shohei Ohtani. And overnight, we were like at 3.4 million followers, 400,000 followers. The next day, I think we get another one or 200,000 followers. And it's just, I'm trying to pull it up right now for the Dodgers, what they're at now for their social media. 3.7. Now they're at 3.7 million. We got 700,000 followers from Shohei and Yamamoto.
Yeah, and once things really start hitting, and if the Dodgers play like we think they will, the bandwagon is going to get much fuller. I welcome all of them.
And okay, so I get it. Bandwagon fans get a bad rep, and here's why: because they only show up when the team is winning.
Right.
All right. So you know how many loyal Dodger fans we have that started watching the Dodgers because of the '88 World Series?
Oh yeah.
And they're loyal today because they've been here since '88. But they started after the '88 World Series. We would call them bandwagon fans, but now we call them loyal. So, yes, I know. You know what? There are some Angel fans that were Angel fans because of Ohtani.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be Dodger fans.
Yep.
And
come on
you know
board.
What? Great. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the Dodgers.
Yeah. It's going to be a great ride. Everyone get aboard. I can't, to be honest, I can't explicitly encourage people to go buy the new jersey because I hate them.
Dude, did you see the Dodgers made a post and
Jason Hayward.
Jason is complimenting the jersey. And I'm like, I'm looking at the comments. And so I even think my comment was they must have paid him some incredible incentives. But he is promoting the jersey, and the comments, cut the crap. We want Majestic back. Oh, that is huge. Yeah. That is huge. That's Dodger source. Hearing everybody complaining about these jerseys, I got to believe somebody is paying him incentives. I mean, yeah, that jersey is not popular.
Yeah, and the only way to be honest, the only way is to not buy it. I mean, I like to buy jerseys. The only jersey I'll buy of that thing is if the Dodgers win the 2024 World Series, I will buy the jersey of whoever is the MVP. I have a 2020 Corey Seager World Series jersey.
Yep.
And I will do the same thing for, I'm going to throw out a guess. I'm going to say the 2024 World Series MVP is going to be Max frickin' Muncy.
Nice. You know why I like
Put it
that?
out there.
You know why I like that?
Hmm.
Because if Max Muncy wins the MVP, that means we won the World Series.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I think he's such an important player.
I'll tell you. All right, I'll give you my World Series MVP. My World Series MVP. Oh man, that's. I'm
Chat,
gonna go with
throw
Freddie.
down your chat, throw down your World Series MVP for
I'm gonna go with
2024.
Freddie Freeman.
There you go.
But I just want everybody to know, Austin Barnes. Austin should be a starter in the playoffs. The last time the Dodgers won the World Series, he was a starter.
Okay, so back then I was writing for Dodgers Nation.
Uh-huh.
And after game 4, I sat down in anger and wrote that Austin Barnes needs to catch the rest of the World Series.
Yes.
And who knocked Blake Snell out?
Austin
Austin
Barnes.
Barnes. And he was, but you know what? I'm going to give a lot of credit to Will Smith. That guy's had so much improvement. It's
Oh,
amazing.
yes.
But he
And,
wasn't good. He wasn't ready then.
and please know, I'm not knocking Will Smith.
Right. I
I'm
know what you're
not
saying.
knocking him. I'm just saying, in 2020, Kenley Jansen and Clayton Kershaw's ERAs were lower when Austin Barnes was calling the game.
Yeah. It's just fair. It's just truth. It is.
Now,
Yeah.
when it comes to that offensive bat, I'm telling you, Will Smith, everybody was saying the Dodgers had the best 1-2-3. They had the best 1-2-3. They had Mookie Betts. They had Freddie Freeman. They had Trey Turner. And I'm like, no, we had the best 1-2-3-4 because we had Will Smith. He was producing huge.
Right.
So, yeah, Will Smith is still, I mean, he's awesome. I'm not knocking him. I just.
Yeah, no, I totally understand it because there's those times where you have to adapt, and Doc gets a lot of crap, and I've given him some of it myself. But the way he adapted in that 2020 World Series, saying, you know what, Jansen ain't closing. It's going to be Trinan in 5 and Urias in Game 6, going with Austin Barnes to catch, and he really and man, those bullpen decisions he made in Game 6. It was a masterclass.
Okay. Now, yes, huge. Let's pick on Dave Roberts for a minute, okay?
I'm all in.
Here it is. The Dodgers are playing, and everybody's healthy going into the playoffs. Everybody's healthy. Dave Roberts, if the Dodgers don't do good in the playoffs, is Dave Roberts here the next year?
I think they have to win a World Series the next 2 years, or because his contract's 2 more years. But if they're 0 in a barbecue like they were this last time, or one in a barbecue, I don't know how he survives. Or I don't. Someone would have to pay a price. And I actually thought after 2023, with 2 years in a row, I thought somebody would pay a price. No one did. Not even like a hitting coach.
I was really surprised.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying this. I'm greedy. The Dodgers need to win the World Series this year. Now, I know realistically it's next year. I know everybody's saying, no, let them gel. They need to get to the World Series this year, but they really need to win it next year. But I'm like, I want us to win it bad.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we got robbed in 2017. We know that. And
Right.
You know what? In some ways, they even robbed themselves. They should have won that outright. There were so many things that could have gone different. They should have won that no matter what.
Yeah.
And then we saw 2019, 2021, they just got hurt. They just got hurt. 2022 was a huge letdown. 2023, they didn't have the horsepower to win it all. But they should have at least won a game.
The thing that hurt for me is I hurt for Clayton Kershaw.
Absolutely.
I hurt for Clayton,
Yeah.
and that was it. You know, pitching depth with all the injuries, we just did not have the pitching depth.
Yep.
I think to go deep.
They did.
Now,
I agree.
if we would have had stellar offense, I think that would have strengthened our pitching depth. But it really didn't. It just did not work.
Yeah, the offense just died. I mean, we saw Mookie Betts really stopped hitting by the end of August. He was
Yeah,
gassed, it looks like. Freddie was chasing numbers, Mookie was chasing 40.
yep,
And I think they spent a lot of energy on that. Hopefully there's some changes this year. I think those guys need to rest a bit.
yep,
Clint talked about it last night on his show. Um, let these other guys play a little bit. Don't worry about the numbers. The numbers that matter are in October because
yes,
these guys they all become Dodger legends. Any team that wins a World Series is, I still think back, I saw Brian Holton, a relief pitcher on the 88 team in one of the chats on Facebook. And I go, that's a world champion right there for 1988.
yep,
That's one of those guys. And they will always be that way. Dave Roberts still doesn't have to buy a drink or a dinner or anything in Boston for what happened almost 20 years ago. So, Mickey Hatcher. I mean, I saw Mickey Hatcher at the stadium a few times. You know what that dude's showing off that ring all the time. He's always just bringing that up. He'll let you see it and everything like that. It was really cool. They enjoy it. And,
yep,
and if you want to be a legend, win some World Series here in Los Angeles, you will have murals. You'll never have to pay for anything. You'll get to hang out at the stadium, do what you want, like some of these guys do. It's great. I love seeing the old players at the stadium. They're just hanging out.
yep,
That doesn't happen at some other places that I've been to. It doesn't happen much like at San Diego. Um, Surprisingly.
yeah,
Um, but they should, Trevor Hoffman. But yeah, then let's talk a little bit more about spring training because that's
yes.
obviously the topic of the day. Um, Allegedly, it sounds like everyone's in camp. From what Doc
So
said.
everybody is there now.
Yes.
Everybody is there now. Will Smith took a couple personal days.
Mhm.
So did Joe Kelly. But everybody is there now, and tomorrow is the first day we're going to see everybody out there.
Yeah.
So I'll be there tomorrow morning early.
Right on. I think the only guy that's not there is non-roster invitee Denelson Lamet. He's still stuck with a visa. That's what I remember. That's what I remember now. And then, yeah, tomorrow, Valentine's Day, the day that all these guys are playing, and the first, what day? Do you remember the day of the first exhibition game? 20th or 21st, 22nd, something like that. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I can't
Someone
remember.
will know in the chat. Someone with the chat, help me out. Um, yeah, to be honest, and I've actually had a couple shorts on and everything. I cannot wait to see Yamamoto, even in an exhibition game. I am so excited for that. I know Glasnow's gonna be exciting. I can't wait to see Walker Buehler out there. Hopefully he gets a little bit, or at least he rehabs in Rancho. That's my hope. For selfish reasons, obviously. But we want to, just to see these guys in Dodger blue.
So yesterday, Yamamoto hit for the first time.
No, Otani.
Otani, excuse me, I'm sorry, Otani.
Yeah.
So I'm out there and I shag a couple balls and I give them away, but not Otani. He wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
It was I think it was Will Smith and it was Max Muncy. So anyway, Desert Doria was out there and a couple other guys, and everybody gets a ball. And I got to go to work. I got to leave. I got to go visit patients. And so I leave and I go to work, and I'm at my office and I'm charting and planning out my week. And then here is Yamamoto, 21 swings, 21 swings. He
Yeah.
hits 10 of them out of the stadium, out of the park.
Yeah.
10 of them. And I mean, a media guy with a camera got one of the balls. If I'd have stayed, I know I'd have got 3 or 4. I'm kicking myself. Oh, yeah.
And my understanding was he wasn't even swinging full speed because that was his first ABs,
Yeah.
live ABs since the surgery.
Yeah.
And you know, they're not built. Not many guys are built were created like Shohei Ohtani. He's very obviously a super, super unique athlete. Obviously cares about playing. I mean, that dude he was at Dodger Stadium just about every day
Yep.
after he signed. And then Saturday we see him at FanFest. Where is he on Monday? He's in freaking Arizona, is already working.
Yes. And you know, and he's got plans.
Mm-hmm.
He's got plans. And here's the deal. His plans do not involve sitting out.
Right.
His plans do not involve taking it easy. He is working, and this isn't the Dodgers telling him to. This is him
Yeah.
taking initiative. And I'm telling you, there is a work ethic
Yes.
that this young man has that's going to be infectious.
Well, you know what? And at Dodger Stadium, out there with him every day was Gavin Lux.
Yes.
And I think Bueller was out there too a lot.
Yep. And Gavin's ready.
Yeah,
That young
that's
man,
what I want to hear.
he is ready. And I'm telling you, Gavin Lux, comeback player of the year.
There you go. I like that because it was heartbreaking last year to see, this guy's ready to fulfill his dreams. Finally, Seager's gone, Turner's gone, and his shortstops is his. And we saw what happened. I had a media pass. I was in the clubhouse a few days after that, and he was in the corner, and I just you could see it, just the kind of the life sucked out of him at least during that time because he still hadn't had his surgery. Was just dealing with it was just a few days afterwards, and just your heart breaks for him. Not just from a human perspective to go, this guy's has his chance to become a star.
Yep.
And just a freak play, a baseball play. That's all it was, just a weird play that happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited for him. We are on
Yeah.
the Lux bus.
I think Lux is going to I think he's going to hit north of 280.
I think you're right.
And I think he's going to be the 9-hole.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why. He's going to be the setup man. He's going to be the guy that gets on for Mookie Betts and then Freddie Freeman and Shohei. He's going to be the one starting that. I think.
Yeah, and that's going to work so well. It's going to help. It's going to help Mookie more than anybody.
Yeah.
And the fact that if you're going with let's just kind of roll off a lineup real quick here. We'll go just Betts, Ohtani, Freeman, whatever, and then
Betts, Ohtani.
Yeah, throw Teoscar in there, Muncy, Smith. Those guys are all in the top 6.
So yeah, here's my lineup right now.
Yeah.
So you have Betts, Freeman, Ohtani, Will Smith, Max Muncy. That's your 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Hernandez 6, Outman 7. Then you have Hayward maybe 8, and then Gavin Lux 9.
Yeah. There's really a weak spot.
Or you have Hernandez taking Hayward's spot, and you have Chris out CT3, Chris
Manny Margot.
Taylor out there, 6 or 7, 8, spot. Yeah, but
yeah, it's just there's not a weak spot as long as everyone just can. If some of those like Outman and Hayward play like last year,
yep,
they don't even have to do any better. If they play like
yep.
last year, they're going to be in good shape.
Yep.
That's for sure. But I see Outman getting better. Hayward
Yes.
Hayward concerns me. I don't know because he's had so many bad years. But you know what? If he doesn't work out for some reason, you've got Manny Margot. You have Chris Taylor, like you said. You got Miguel Vargas starting to work in the outfield. You're going to have the guy whose shoulder got hurt last year in his first game in AAA, Andy Pajes, who is a stud.
You got depth. We
Yep.
have depth in the outfield.
Yep.
And then if we have to put Mookie out there. I mean, I know he's full-time second base, but we got depth.
Right. Yeah, and it's a good thing. And if for some reason even none of that works out, they have the talent to make a trade. It's even they're just
Yes.
they've lined it up really well for the next few years.
Yep.
And yeah, anything, a World Series soon has to happen.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and not, these Captain Obvious people out there going, well, you can't buy these other like the Braves pitcher going, you can't buy a pennant. Well, duh. But like you said earlier, it puts him in a great position. And
Yes.
it's not reckless. AJ Preller with the Padres has been reckless with the spending. He really spent unwisely. And then because of his unwise spending, he had to trade one of the best hitters in baseball for a bunch of decent pitching from the
Well,
Yankees.
and that's the other thing, though. The other thing. All right. First and foremost, Padres, their owner, God rest his soul.
Yeah, great man.
That guy wanted to bring a winning product,
Mm-hmm.
and applaud him for that. He
Yeah.
did not go with status quo. He is not lining his pockets. He wanted to bring his fan base a winning product.
Yep.
And they went out and they did. They went out and they brought guys in. Problem is not the owner. The problem is the front office
Mm-hmm.
and coaching and managing. They do not have that winning culture.
Yeah.
They do not have that chemistry. Here's the Dodgers. Now, you can knock the Dodgers for October. I get it. You can make fun of them until you're blue in the face. But here's the Dodgers. The Dodgers have a winning culture. They have a winning, we've been there before culture. Here's the deal. First series against the Padres. Clayton Kershaw is pitching. It is the first inning or the top of the or bottom of the second. I think it's the bottom of the first. Fernando Tatis hits a home run and is all excited. Good for him. Be excited. He goes around second. He's coming to third, and he does his Cancun step around third.
Right.
I call it the Cancun step because we all know in the playoffs he's going to be one of the first guys in Cancun. Anyway, he does his thing, and he comes around, and nothing wrong with being excited in the dugout. Nothing wrong with guys celebrating. Great. But no, he is doing all of his stuff before he gets to the dugout. All right, that's fine. You do you. Chris Taylor, same game. Chris Taylor hits a home run. And what does he do? He rounds first, second, third. He comes home, high fives everybody at home, high fives everybody in the dugout. They've already been there.
Yeah.
They have a winning culture. They want to win the games. They don't do all the showboating and all the celebrating. And then what do we do this offseason? We bring in a guy who wants to win in Shohei Ohtani.
Yes.
I don't see Shohei showboating. I don't see him goofing off. This is another work ethic guy that wants to win. And he is going to add to that winning culture the Dodgers already have. That's the difference between the Padres and the Dodgers. Oh, Padres got talent.
Yeah.
They got talent. Fernando Tatis, talent. Manny Machado, look, Manny Machado is one of the best third basemen in baseball, period. Talent. And then who's the guy that went to the Yankees?
Soto.
They brought in Juan Soto, another talent. Dang, that's a, and then they had good guys that added depth, but they couldn't get it together. because they don't have that culture.
Right. Yeah. No, I know. And I see it talking to the minor league coaches, just it goes up and down. They're very professional. Um, I've seen discipline from when players go too far in
Yep.
at the lower levels. They're going, hey, not you don't need to go that far. It's really it's not about you. It's about the team. It is about you growing, but gosh, man, may earn it.
Yep.
It's kind of like Bull Durham where he goes, "Hey, your shower shoes, they're filthy. When you win 20 in the show, you can have dirty shower shoes. Until
Yep.
then, go clean those shower shoes." And I get it. You kind of earn that right. And I kind of go, yeah, I'm old school in a lot of ways. I admit it. I that's just the way I am. But it's the way we grew up playing the game and watching the game. And I miss some of that. But I think Otani brings some of that back. I think he's an old soul in that way. I think he and Chase Utley would get along swimmingly. Um, and I think that guys like Austin Barnes are like that. You got to have that mixture. I think even Outman might have some of that in him.
Yeah.
He's still growing as a ball player and his place on the team and all that type of stuff. But you got to have a mixture. Then you got the guys like Freddie who are Freddie's just a happy-go-lucky guy, wants to do well, great man, great father. I mean, I've seen that guy up close in action as a father. His kids just cling, they love him. That's it. You just couldn't ask for a better relationship than that. And Mookie Betts is, got his family and everything, and Clayton Kershaw is, a man to be admired. And then you got this mixture of kids coming in. We had a little flair coming in with Teoscar Hernandez. That guy has been a playoff player, and he's got some raw power. Excited
Yep.
about that. Um, yeah, I think it's a good mix of talent. I think that and of course Miguel Rojas is seems like he's kind of the team leader on that team. I mean, I think you have to, what do you say? You have to like sit in the freaking bathroom of the bus for a while or something like that on your first trip. It's something like that. They have some rules, and I think those are all good. Hopefully, they have like a kangaroo court for when you miss a bunt or miss a sign,
Yep.
things like that. Those are things that are kind of there. Um, and I just didn't, I think they do have a good mix, and that culture is so important. Dave Roberts, yeah, there's times he makes mistakes. Like Jeff Snyder says, the odds are 55 to 45. It's not going to matter that much, what he does, but he is a leader. I've the first time I met him was at a high school baseball game. He's
Uh-huh.
probably 2 or 3 inches shorter than I am. He's a giant. That's the thing. You get up to him and you meet him, and he's a giant. He just has a presence about him. And also, I like him at the press things because he's loud, and I don't have to worry about if my mic is picking him up either. You can, Doc comes anywhere, you hear him a mile away. But yeah, good mixture of people there. Um, the culture does matter. It really does. I think this culture needed a little infusion change,
Mhm.
and Otani is definitely going to be that. In some ways, it's also going to take some pressure off maybe some of the other guys. I know people are getting on Mookie for the playoffs, and it's pretty obvious that Mookie's not happy with his playoff performance, so I'm not worried about him.
And no, and the thing about Mookie is, Mookie also wants to win, and Mookie works hard. And I'm trying to think who it was. Um, I think it was Dylan Hernandez.
Yeah, I didn't read it.
Dylan Hernandez was saying that there are players questioning Mookie Betts' commitment, and I'm like, dude, are you kidding? Mookie Betts is committed to winning.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts works hard. Look, guys go through slumps. It just sucks that he went through a slump at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people go, well, Mookie's too busy with this, too busy with that. You don't sit there and you don't play baseball 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
Your body
no.
can't take it.
And I
I
don't
think,
think Mookie was too busy.
yeah, I don't think so either.
I think Mookie's the star. So everybody's going to gravitate to him. You want to know something? It's going to flip this year.
Yep.
Everybody's going to gravitate to everything that Shohei is doing. And then all of a sudden, if Shohei's not doing well, people are going to be saying he's spending too much time with his dog.
Yeah, it's exactly. I mean, and you like alluded to earlier, I want Mookie to back off a little bit because it's a long season. He's ripped, but he's still only 5'9".
Yep.
No. And so he's got to find a way to conserve.
Yep.
Freddie ran out of gas and he's a big man. So
Yep.
but Freddie's going to be 34 this year. And they just, maybe they have to take a few more days off and be able to take some rest and be ready. At the end of the day, it's about, again, it's about October. Because I know if the Dodgers win this World Series, I know I'm going to see you at that parade.
Oh, heck yes. Are you kidding? Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've been dying for this. I wanted that parade so bad.
I will have tenure at my job. I'll have tenure where I can get days off. And then the next thing, I will be at the World Series. And here's the deal. I will go to game 4, 5, and 6 because I want to be there to watch the Dodgers clinch it. I'm telling you, there was nothing more euphoric than being at game 6 of the 2020 World Series.
Yep. Yeah. No, I was at all the home games in 2017, including game 7, which was obviously just a horrible experience. Wherever they have a chance to clinch, I will be there. I'm not going to say money is not an issue, but I'll have to be reasonable, of course. My wife.
It's an issue, but here's what I have.
Figure it out.
I have a blank credit card solely for playoffs and World Series.
There you go. Because you just, you gotta enjoy those experiences. And I want to, I want to, LA deserves that parade. We got robbed of it in 2017 and we got robbed of it for other reasons in 2020.
Yeah.
That 2020 team, I celebrate the heck out of that because that was a team in the playoff, their World Series roster. One half of those guys were homegrown. And even some of those guys who weren't homegrown, the guys like a Kike Hernandez, the guys like an Alex Wood, Austin Barnes, those guys are still Dodgers. They played so much time with them. They just grew and it was good to see that team. And I don't care if that was a 60-game season or a 600-game season, that team was going to win it because that team was pissed off.
Yep.
Because of what happened right around Fan Fest of 2020 when we found out the Astros cheated and all that stuff was going on. And they were 43-17. That was a great team. That was a great team. And I'm glad they got their championship. The parade, it's a bummer they didn't get that. It's almost ironic that Corey Seager had another parade as a Ranger. Who'd have thought it before the Dodgers got another one? But hey, I'm a Corey Seager fan all the way through.
Yeah, you know what? And here was the deal. Okay, so I'm happy that Phoenix, Arizona got to experience a World Series.
Yeah.
But there was no way I was rooting for the D-backs to win the World Series.
Right.
I did not want a division foe saying that we won it.
Yeah.
So I was rooting for the Rangers. Yep. And yes, I was rooting for Corey Seager to be MVP.
Oh, me too.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm a former Dodger, and I'm like this. I'm like this. Once a Dodger, always a Dodger.
Mm-hmm.
And in the case of Manny Machado, once a rental, always a rental. But I mean, you know, so I was happy for Corey Seager.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I mean, just he's a good dude. I was at his debut down here in San Diego, got on ESPN because I was sitting behind his parents
Yep.
when he got his first hits, and there's me in the background. Um, and then yeah, we're fans of him. I've got a few of his different jerseys, and my wife even has his jersey. So
Yep.
we're you know, always be fans of Corey Seager. Wish him the best in Texas. Can't wait to see him go in the Hall of Fame. Hopefully he stays healthy. But yeah, there was other Dodgers on that team. You know, Eovaldi, Scherzer, the closer, the guy who finished the game, Josh Spores, and Andrew Heaney. So five
Yes.
former Dodgers on that team, pretty
Yep.
recent. So I was like,
And
you know, this is cool, good for them.
and I'm just gonna tell you, I'm not really a Max Scherzer guy.
Oh, I
So
Mhm.
I just he didn't move the needle for me. It was Corey Seager. And I know the other
Oh
guys, don't
yeah,
get me
yeah.
wrong. I know the other guys, but Max, I'm like, you
You,
know, Clayton Kershaw didn't chase a ring. Clayton didn't go to Texas to try to get a ring. Clayton didn't join the Yankees to try to get a ring. Clayton stayed with the Dodgers.
yep.
Stayed with the Dodgers. Now I get it. Corey Seager left and Corey Seager signed a contract. I get it. But here's the deal. Corey Seager wasn't chasing a Corey Seager didn't jump on the best team.
No, he did not at all.
Max Scherzer left here and went to the Mets because the Mets were loading up and they paid him the most. I get it.
Mhm.
But then once the Mets are not doing good, he's like, no, I want out of here. I want out of here. I want out of
Yeah.
here. Instead of sticking around and saying, we'll do it next year. Nope. He went and he wanted to go to because he wants a ring. Now, I get it. I'm just not a fan of that. I never was a fan of LeBron James going to Miami. I
Yeah.
was never a fan of the decision. I was never a fan of who's the guys with the Clippers now.
Yeah, Kawhi.
No,
And
not Kawhi. The
I
guy
know
from
you
ASU, the basketball player, the big beard from ASU.
James Harden.
James Harden jumping off every ship he can and tries to go to the next man up to win a ring. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
Max Scherzer, yeah,
Yeah,
he didn't move the needle anymore.
I enjoyed his time on the Dodgers to a point because I was there for his first game when he beat the Astros.
Yep,
I was there when he got his 3,000th strikeout and took a perfect game
yep.
at the eighth inning. But then, they misused him and burnt his arm, and he wasn't going to take a chance, which kind of sucked, which kind of rippled to Bueller, and which caused him to get hurt. And
And I wonder about the whole misusing him thing. What did they misuse?
to close, have him having to close that game in Frisco was
Okay,
off schedule for
exactly.
him.
Yes, I'm with you on that. That's right. Here's the
Yeah,
deal. No, I loved Max Scherzer coming to the Dodgers.
yeah, I did too. It was fun.
I just wanted him to stay with the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I wanted him to stay. And I was a fan when he was with the Dodgers. Big time.
yeah,
And but yeah, it just, him going to New York, nothing wrong with that. Him going and getting paid. Look, guys, I'm everybody watching. Everybody's like, nope, I'd stay with this team. I'm telling you, whatever company you're at, if another company offered you double what you're getting paid, security, health benefits, this and boom, 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 boom. Let's be honest, most of you would be taking that new job.
oh, absolutely. Yeah,
And
and
so I'm not knocking him, except this is when the chips were down with the Mets, he jumped ship.
yeah,
I'm just not a fan of that.
yeah, and it's in the chat. He let out some things that was really inappropriate, saying the Dodgers misused him. you know, with Scherzer, he thinks he's still, when he was with the Dodgers, he still thought he was 30 years old. And it's like, no, dude, you're 36, 37 years old. You're not the same. And he wore out and he still was throwing 100 plus
But
pitches.
I will say this: he's about winning,
Yeah, he is.
and he's about working. He
Hmm.
was never lazy.
That's true.
Never lazy. I will say that. That's the compliment. That man wants to win.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, you see it. You see it as stomping all over the mound and doing his thing. It's always, to me, I like to have all-time greats show up every once in a while. I liked having Scherzer. I liked having Pujols.
I
Just,
loved having Albert Pujols.
I mean, it's just, I know he wasn't, it's not the guy you really wanted on your playoff roster at the end of the season, but the dude's a legend. And the fact that he wore Dodger blue even for a little bit is fun for
And
me.
remember, we lost Kike Hernandez.
Mm-hmm.
We lost Jock Peterson.
Yep. Bench was
We
terrible.
lost these chemistry guys.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, it's going to be kind of dead in the clubhouse. And here comes Theo Albert.
Yes.
And Theo Albert bringing his hugs and his love and his leadership and his experience. Oh, he was great for the Dodgers.
Yeah, he was. He provided something that they needed, because just a couple months later is when the Bauer stuff went down, and
Yes.
they didn't really hit a bump at all. Now it hurt at the end of the season when they ran out of pitching.
Yeah.
That's Oh, look at Dodgers Nation's out here. Woohoo. Oh, Doug's out here. Um, Shout out to Dodgers Danny
Hey,
from Dodger Nation.
wait. Doug, check this out. Doug, tomorrow you're going to see a video. I got my press credentials. I'll show you tomorrow, Doug.
Doug, let us know when you're heading out to spring training. Um, yeah, I mean, I like the legends, and that I still go back to when Pujols got released. I never thought the Dodgers were going to sign him. I thought, why would they sign him? Doesn't make sense. But really, the team that needed to sign him more than any team was the San Diego Padres. They needed to sign that guy. And they should have signed after 2022. They should have signed Justin Turner. And after 2023, they should have signed Justin Turner. They just don't understand that they need somebody, not the manager. You need somebody that's a player that has the respect
and
of,
and
of these
and,
guys.
and I'm gonna tell you, here it is: culture,
It is.
winning culture. Hey, but back to spring training. Let me tell you, it is an exciting atmosphere. First, the media is insane. There is probably 150 cameras that are all media, and these lenses. I was there the first day they were there, and this guy had a lens sitting on the ground, and I kicked it barely touched it, barely. He didn't even freak out. He's just like, hey, watch that. And I was talking to a guy from USA Today who was getting videos and pictures for USA Today. And I asked him, how much is that lens? And he looked at it. It was a 600 something lens. He said that was $12,000. These guys spend money on their stuff.
Yeah.
And they were out there, and there is an energy. And every time Shohei Ohtani does something, all you hear is
Yes.
all the pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, just if the guy bends over, if the guy's clapping his hands, it is amazing. So spring training is absolutely exciting. And so tomorrow is supposed to be the first day that everybody's really out there. Today really was. Almost every single player was out there. But I think tomorrow really kicks it off. And I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. I mean, we're all gonna be looking forward to seeing your content for sure, and other people like Desert Doyer. Make sure to check them out. They're as live as you're gonna get.
I'll be
Um,
live streaming in the morning.
oh, very good. And you're still gonna get the Dodger content. The Dodger media team, of course, does a great job out there. But they have their own perspective. They have to sell sell a narrative. We got guys like Dodger Danny, doesn't need to worry about that. He's just going, I want to put out there what the fans want. It kind of goes back to the Shohei Ohtani press conference when the first few questions were just all sorts of blah, blah, blah. And then my man, Kyle Kraska, asked the one question that everyone wanted to know. What is your dog's name? That's what everyone wanted to know. No one cared about these other things. Some woman making, basically saying that Shohei's deceiving the Dodgers and all that type of stuff. No, people want to know that dumb dog or that dumb dog's name, Decoy or whatever it turns out. It was great. But if I would have had a chance to ask the question, that's what I would have asked. That's the only question that people really cared about. The rest, everyone already knows those answers. But to provide the perspective that you can provide, that Carlos can provide, or Alan with the Dodger dog guy. I mean, there's all sorts of things we can see out that you guys can capture out there, capturing what the fans are seeing, capturing what the fans are feeling, talking to the fans. I mean, it's I can't wait to get. I hope I can get out there. I'm hoping to get out there March 13th for a few days. We'll see. March 13th is the last Dodger game there. And then, I'm just hoping to catch the minor league stuff. I know Mike Salas is looking to get out there. I was talking to Trinidad, my guy, on my staff. He's looking when he's going to head out there. It's like, oh man, you got to get out there though. Somehow it's where
So
it's at.
let me ask you a minor league question. Which minor league team goes to Vegas to play in Vegas?
The Oklahoma City team. They're the
Okay, so
triple
when
with the
Oklahoma
PCL.
goes to Vegas, I'm going to be out there for that.
Hmm.
I'm going to go to the games. So some Vegas friends of mine have invited me out, and so we're going to go to that and watch them
Nice.
when Oklahoma City goes out there. So that'll be my first. I mean, my first baseball experience was the Albuquerque Dukes versus the Tucson Toros.
Hmm.
That's how old I am. That's 1991, 1992, 93, and 94. So this will be
Mondesi,
the
guys like
first.
that.
What's that?
Raul Mondesi,
It was Eric Karros,
Carlos
it was Mike
Piazza.
Piazza, Raul Mondesi, it was Todd Hollinsworth,
Yep.
Kareem Garcia, Paul Konerko, Wilton Guerrero, all of that. Yeah.
So Mike Salas is going to be out there March the 10th. Mike, make sure you hit him up on Instagram. Make sure you get him on your show, whatever you guys want. Make sure you get some content there. Um, yeah, I mean the Albuquerque Dukes, man, playing at that altitude, man, you never knew what their numbers really were.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, now they're out in Oklahoma where Casey's out there. We're fortunate to have the Quakes out here.
Yep.
It's the low A team, and you get to see these guys when they're the Josue DePaula. He came up, he was 17. He's still 17-year-old coming up and out in California for the first time, and it's just amazing how young they are, going through that thing, and then eventually they get to Oklahoma City and they're 22, 23, knocking on the door, and there's some
Mhm.
guys like Michael Bush, it's like feels like they're never going to get out of there.
Yeah.
And fortunately he got traded, or else I think Doug McCain had said, yeah, Michael Bush is going to win Rookie of the Year in the year 2030 as a 32-year-old rookie if he would have
Well,
stayed with the
and
Dodgers.
like I said, I think the Dodgers did him a solid.
Yeah, they did.
I really do.
Yeah, man, they're some of the chat, because it always in the chat it always comes. Roki Sasaki always gets mentioned eventually because everyone's targeting him for the 2025 rotation. It turns out he was born in July of 2002. My goodness, my youngest son is older than that.
Yep. Wasn't he just recently photoed in a Padres t-shirt?
Yeah, it looked gross.
Okay, so I mean, I thought he was working for UPS, but anyway, it's
Exactly.
like, I mean, it's like this. Uh, you Darvish, you
Hmm.
Darvish is recruiting these guys,
Yeah.
and and here's the deal. I honestly thought Shohei was coming to the Dodgers. I did. I thought he was coming
Yeah.
to the Dodgers. I got nervous when everybody was talking about the flight to Toronto.
Right.
I really got nervous. But once he signed with the Dodgers, once you saw that LA on his page, then I knew we were getting Yamamoto. I knew it because Yamamoto said he wanted to play with a Japanese player. And I remember Padre fans saying, "Oh, he's coming here. He's coming here." But I knew. And so I'm telling you, next year, I think we're getting another young man. I really do.
Yeah, they're talking about Darvish trying to do this, but Darvish is 37. He's still got 5 more years on his contract, but he's injury prone. It's a team in some ways is on the downswing. I mean, they at least from last year, their pitching staff is depleted. Now they got some young guys that, Preller's going to trade probably for someone they shouldn't have traded for. And they'll blow that again. But yeah, I can't see why would you go to the Padres? I mean, just
Well,
to
I
go
tell you what the Padres are not going to do this year.
win the
I
division.
already know this. I have spoken with Padres front office, and they have let me know they will not be putting Dodger crap on their jumbotron.
Also, ah, gosh, the thing is, the people that do that usually they're too young, too stupid, and they're not baseball fans.
And here's
That's
the
the
deal:
thing.
we
You have
do that.
so many non-baseball fans working in these things.
We do that.
Yeah.
We, as fan pages, are allowed to do that
Yes, we're supposed to.
because we're fans. But a professional organization,
Yes.
yeah. So, nope, that's not happening this year. So, I think the Padres are going to have a little bit of a better start than they did last season.
Yeah, that was just it. You embarrass yourselves when you do that. Don't you got to make sure this isn't about trying to get somebody. Yeah, like you said, we're not running the show. We're not running. Sujo's not letting me put up my opinions about the Padres. You
Yeah.
know, you go, no, we're going to be professional because Sue and company are professionals and they represent the organization. They always want to put the organization in good light.
And
Put them in a
right.
good light.
Yes. Yes.
Well, and even one of the Diamondbacks things had when Kershaw re-signed had something that was kind of about welcome back Kershaw and there was
Oh, yeah,
video
yeah. It
of
was
Kershaw giving
welcome
up a
back,
home run.
the MVP of the World Series, Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, it was obviously just disgusting. Um, respect. You got to respect the Hall of Famers, and you respect your opponents.
And
Hey,
I'm okay with trash talk,
yeah,
especially when it comes from the fan base. That's fine. And
exactly.
I'm
That's what I'm
okay
supposed to
with a
do.
little bit of rubbing, but there's a reason why you don't see the Dodgers doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Fans, yes. I mean, let me tell you. Oh my goodness, the best thing. So this guy took an inflatable like pop can and he painted it like a trash can.
Oh,
And when the Astros come to town, they're throwing the trash can on the field.
yeah.
That is hilarious. That's
Yes.
funny. But that's the fans doing
Right.
that, not the Dodgers organization.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
It's classy.
Same thing with the Fernando Tatis and the steroids. Same thing. That's the fans doing that. That's not the organization.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mr. John Rod 77 mentions something about, the Giants are doing some stuff with Mickey ears going at the Dodgers for their things. It's like,
I,
that's just
I'm
garbage.
not upset about it.
Oh, they can do it. It's just like what the Padres did. It's gonna backfire on them.
Now, what I think would be funny because I think they only have like 13 or 1,600 of them.
Yeah.
I'm thinking what would be really funny is if all of us Dodger fans went to that game and tried to get there early to be the first ones.
Yeah.
Get the ears, have the ears, and then after the game is done, everybody goes and throws them on the field.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, it's just, but it's just, they should have learned from the Padres. Just don't do
Yeah.
that. Um,
But I will tell you, it's classic trolling.
it is. Yeah. And, the Dodgers, hopefully they just go, okay, great.
Yep.
Put it in their
Yeah,
face.
and and I don't know. I think it might have been Doug McCain that said this on Dodger Nation, but somebody should tell their media guy he's 4 years late
Yeah.
or 3 years late.
Yeah, it's silly. I mean, well, it's kind of like I know that it caused controversy, but we know when Trevor Bauer accepted his Cy Young award, he brought Mickey Mouse ears out, something like that, and he just said, "Hey, you criticize me all you want, I got the award."
Yeah,
And you can criticize, he did what he needed to do in that season. The
yeah,
Dodgers did what they needed to do in that season. It
yeah,
was a weird season. I don't know, people, if you've had a chance to read Tim Neverrett's book about it, it's a great story. He goes into detail just about all the crap they had to go through during that time, just to play baseball and all the testing they had to do and all the, oh my gosh, someone got sick. What do we do? We got to hide somebody, they got to go hide out for quite a few days and all that. And just all the chaos because no one knew what was going on. We just didn't know.
yeah,
And they were trying, just talking through the whole story. It's a great story. And yeah, Tim's a really good dude. I met him at Rancho. He was signing books and boy, that guy, he'll if you engage, man, dude loves the game. He'll talk to you as much as you want to talk. He I should get him on the show.
yeah.
He's really good. I like him a lot. And yeah, I mean, geez. What else we got to talk about? You cover everything for spring training so far? I was getting late for you because I know you're an hour ahead of me.
Yep,
So
it's 11:30 right now.
yeah, so I want to honor your time. Um, Maybe we should start wrapping it up a bit. I'm just looking in the chat. The thing is, man, we can keep talking. The chat just keeps going, and they're having some great conversations in there, man. They're just here's a really good one here. To those young Japanese guys, you Darvish is like your uncle, but Otani is their MJ, Kobe, Japanese Jesus. Um, I can see that. Do you want to play with yeah, the old guy or do you want to play with the guy?
And right now, I'm telling you, Shohei is he is the man.
Yeah.
He is the man, and everybody is gravitated to him. He is a magnet.
Yeah.
And Yamamoto, I think Yamamoto is going to have a great season. And I think you're going to see him kind of break away and start to steal some of that crowd too. But
Right.
but but not much. Shohei is really just something else. And everybody's out there just eyeballing him.
Yeah. Yeah, and for obvious good reasons. Then next year we hopefully have him back pitching again. And I mean,
Yeah.
he's truly a unicorn. I mean, there hasn't been a player like this since Babe Ruth.
Yep.
I mean, and so if you go really two of the most best all around baseball players, well, guys who pitch successfully and hit successfully, I'm going to put those two at the top.
Yep.
Uh, and just go with that. Yeah, it's in fact, I can say that. So I was talking with Joe Davis
Uh-huh.
after it was at the Otani press conference. I talked to Joe afterwards. Joe's as people know, I'm a huge fan of him. He is an amazing human being. Great dude. And he's going, yeah, I was talking to my wife going, I'm going to go introduce Babe Ruth today. That's what he said.
Wow.
And it is that. It's that. I mean, Babe Ruth was, a different time. And of course, the Babe Ruth of that time would not be able to play today, but because they didn't have the training that they had. I mean, it was just different. They actually had to have jobs and all those types of things, and they didn't have all the modern medicine and all that.
Yeah.
And if you have a surgery, could you even have surgery?
See, that's the thing. They were playing baseball where when they were done with the game, they had to go to their regular jobs.
Yeah, it was different.
They didn't have all the training and all the working out and all the technology and everything that they had today. I'm
Yeah,
not discrediting Babe Ruth,
right.
but I'm telling you, it's a different time.
Yeah, and just to go for that time, Babe Ruth. For this time, Shohei Ohtani. And you know what? Maybe in 80 years there'll be another one.
Yep.
That's what it seems like. It's one of those, maybe more kids will be given a chance to pitch and hit, but it is so hard because it doubles your work.
Yep.
So I don't know. Yeah, let's just enjoy the heck out of it. Shohei Ohtani is a Los Angeles Dodgers, people. It's still unbelievable. And man, we're
And
gonna
then
enjoy.
look at this. This is potentially our September roster. Yamamoto, Glasnow, Walker Bueller, Bobby Miller, and Clayton Kershaw.
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
That is insane. I just,
Yeah.
dude, I mean, I still cannot believe that this will be our rotation this September.
Because if Clayton Kershaw actually had his shoulder fixed, we might get some more out of him. We might get closer to 2020.
Yep.
2020 Kershaw was pretty freaking good. Even 2022 Kershaw was pretty good. He was really good, actually.
Yep.
I mean, he took what, a couple no hitters that he got pulled early from. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch the September thing, and Max Muncy, hopefully he's doing what I think he's gonna do. Hopefully have around 40 home runs by then. Um, and I'm excited about it. And it's just, how can you not be excited? It's like, let's go baseball. Let's get to that Korean series. Waiting to wake up, stay up at 3 a.m., do some type of a show before or afterwards. I don't know what I'm going to do. But it's going to be exciting. It's time to watch baseball. Folks, get out to spring training. If you get out to spring training, you know who's going to be there. Dodger Danny's going to be out there. And a lot of the other cast of characters. Say hi to them. They, every time I've gone up to any of those guys, any of you, the people that are known on it, I'll call you the Instagram guys.
Mhm.
All you guys, without fail, are fantastic. Just they're
Thank you.
just I mean, I'd sit there and it was a game last year. I was hanging out with Desert Doyer, and just everyone's coming up. Let me take a picture with you. Let me take a picture. And he'll always put up his puts up his hand signs and all that. He's just, and it's magnetic. And being with that, enjoy that, folks. Um, say hi to Dodger Danny. He's gonna be out there probably almost every day, hopefully, right?
Yeah, every morning, almost. Now this weekend, I have to fly to Columbus, Ohio. So
Hmm.
I'll be in Ohio on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I come back on Sunday, but yes, I will be out there every morning, and yeah, just checking it out.
Yeah, and of course follow his page. I mean, it's where it's at. Um, I would, the way I kind of have to do Instagram, because it seems that I don't even know their algorithm. Just go to his page. Just go look in the. You usually have something in your stories. Click on the story. You'll get to see his story. Then click on his thing so you can actually see his page, see his latest content. Do that with some of those other folks too. It's great coverage. It's I consider it to be a very unique perspective that it's coming from a fan's eye because at the end of the day, we're fans. We're not, I'm not doing this because I'm like, oh, I just want to do podcast. I'm doing it because I just want to outlet as a fan and to provide a place for more fans to do stuff. And for you, you've got this great place where people can go and just dig into the fan experience.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate you showing up for us. It's great. I know we had some technical difficulties getting things together. I started on the wrong web page with the wrong account. So I hit 3, 2, 1, go, and it said you don't have permission. So and it happens every time I try to do Zoom. So we appreciate you, Danny. Do you have anything else for the folks out there?
No, guys, thanks for checking out. Thanks for subscribing to Dodgers 2080. Tell your friends about Dodgers 2080 and tell your friends to subscribe. Check out the podcast. He does great things. I especially love his interaction with all the minor leaguers. He gives everybody attention and promotes everybody. It's great stuff. So absolutely, guys, I got some old jerseys I'm going to be selling and getting rid of. And so I'll be doing that on my page. You'll want to check that out. But that's about it. I want to thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. It was yeah, it's great to get you on here. I hopefully you can figure out how to get your own account and anything we can do to help you out there
Absolutely.
and some of the the other people that were on the Dodgers explicit type guys, all that. Let's get together, let's hang out a bit, talk, swap stories, swap tips and all that stuff and figure out how to enjoy this season as much as we can, just to get everything we can out of it, starting now, and
Absolutely.
hopefully through early November, with a parade down Figueroa. That's where it needs to end for us. So that's it. For Dodger Danny, sorry, your Dodger Danny. This is Tim Rogers. It does rhyme with your Los Angeles Dodgers, the Dodgers 2080. Thank you for hanging out with us. As always, thank you. God bless and go Dodgers. Let's see. And wait, hold on. I don't want to do that. I got to make sure to kill it right. Let's see. Stop recording.